Apparently we're live, at least that's the theory. You never really know when it comes to these things, whether we're live or not.
I'm alive and you're alive.
Well, that's good
that much.
enough. That is good enough. Good afternoon, or whatever it might be, wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen. I, of course, am PhotoJoseph, and this is my good buddy Eric Mindling, who is joining me today so we can talk a little bit about our journey to Oaxaca, Mexico, which was kind of cool.
It was kind of cool.
It was kind of cool. And we're doing it again. When are we doing this again? Tell our fine feathered friends when we're doing this again while I pull up the webpage.
You want me to memorize those dates? We're doing it in the fall when it's beautiful. We're doing it in October, I believe. October 16th through 24th.
There we go. PhotoJoseph.com/workshops, the Oaxacan Light Tour Fall 2017. And yes, it is. It's going to be great. In fact, let's take a quick look at the video that we did last year because this came out really nice.
Yes, it did.
Oh, we'll probably should get the sound going through the right system here. Let's try that one more time, but with sound going out so that y'all can hear it out through that port there. Here we go. So this is. Get rid of this ad here. What is this place? Let's narrate this a little bit. What is this church called?
Santo Domingo, old center of Oaxaca City. Inside that church we're looking at, great light, beautiful opportunities for architecture. Another church in the town. We went early in the morning to this place. Now we're out in a village, encountering things.
This is where we learned to cook. This was so much fun.
Yeah.
We're doing this again for sure. Come fall. What's that drink called again?
Chocolate atole. So it's an old traditional chocolate drink that's only made in the Central Valleys of Oaxaca. And they're making it for us, and you can see we're digging it. Total photographer shoot out there.
This is right near our hotel. We stayed in Oaxaca City.
Morning ramble through the streets.
Random horses as you do.
In a park in the city, right? We're on the afternoon ramble there, just seeing what we come upon.
Oh, this is great. This is a meal in somebody's home. Private meal to be for us. And then we'll just go,
a little bit here, a little bit there. Recover from the day. Get more inspired. Oh yeah, we got up crack of dawn, before the crack of dawn, to get up to this place called Yervelagua. So beautiful to catch sunrise there. Unbelievable.
Students shooting there. Oh, the place is great. I brought the slider. That was a good slider.
Nice, very nice.
Flash photography, sharing some basic education in here on shooting flash.
Yeah.
I stood in as your model for something.
Off-camera flash 101. Woo! Look at that guy.
Look at that guy.
Damn.
Good looking man. Where'd you hire that model?
Yeah, models.com.
Some rough roads. So, dinner right around there.
Ruins of Mitla.
So cool. Such a beautiful place. We have more off-camera flash.
Right, we arranged that in that household with that woman.
Right.
Making magic with our cameras, man. That's what we were doing.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're going to do again. Get out there, see some incredible sights. Pretty much everything you see here we're doing again. There's going to be one new spot and one spot we're taking away, but I don't think anything was included in this video from what we're taking out. I think we got that out so that we didn't sell anything that wasn't going to be there for the next visit. That was making of
The scout, that was a highlight.
That was so
To visit there. Well, this was a highlight too, eating.
Eating is always a highlight in my book.
This is Joseph having dinner.
And it's gone. Eric educating people. And it's the candle making, all hand-done candle making.
Beeswax. Wonderful ambiance there. Courtyard, smoke, people doing work. Photographically, it was really, really nice to work there. Oh, learning to make tortillas. Frying eggs on a clay platter. Yeah, there's a food theme, isn't there? Did you have lunch yet?
I did. It was a crappy sandwich too.
I'm sorry.
This is actually the scary thing. It turned out not this. This is great. This is
Yeah,
we're hoping in the fall we'll have better cloud cover. We had really clear skies, which obviously is going to lend to great sunsets, sunrises, that sort of thing.
Right, that's part of why we changed the dates
Right.
to mid-October, because mid-October is the tail end of the rainy season, which can have the best light and the best clouds.
Right.
Green hillsides, spectacular clear skies,
Absolutely.
which is why we made that little adjustment.
Yeah. And then we're going to a waterfall
Yeah,
area.
we're going to a place called Apuala this time. So we're adding, it's spectacular. It's this sort of Shangri-La, hidden canyon, 3 hours down a dirt road with these cabins that you can stay in, adobe cabins next to a creek. The creek is lined with cypress trees. The creek runs through limestone, and so limestone tints the water this sort of milky blue color. There's a big waterfall, 2 waterfalls, 3 waterfalls, and steep
There we go.
cliffs.
This is it, right?
That's Apuala, yeah.
This is a tiny thumbnail. I don't have a big picture on here, but you can see here these little thumbs. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah,
So-
that's a taste of it, and
yeah.
that's the road.
And that's the road out there. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, man, that'll be fantastic. That will be fantastic. We got some comments coming up here already. So good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be. Linus Hacker, hello. We are very well. Thank you for asking. From Lithuania, a very international audience.
Come on over to
Linus,
Oaxaca.
Come to Oaxaca, man. It'll be fantastic. Hello from Paris. Look at that. Bonus Studios. Hello. John Morby's a friend in the UK. He says he was thinking of coming when we had it in November, then we changed it to October. Now he can't come. Don't. But you're going to be in Cancun the 14th to 21st. That's too funny. Marvin, hello. Look at this. I love it. Just a lot of the regulars coming in, and of course we're a couple hours later, so we're going to get some different folks than what normally come in to watch the live show. So let's take a look at some of the photos that we did last time. I don't know, maybe can I do it like this? This might be an easier way to do it. Let's start with yours. Oops, let's go back to full screen there. And pick one of your favorites that you want to talk about.
Oh gosh, which one? Let's do this grandma right here.
There we go. People can see it.
Sure. So that's just this picture I took in the town of Mitla. We had some free time in the afternoon, and we all went off rambling, hunting for photography, for pictures. And I run into her son, who's a weaver, who says, "Come see my weaving." So I go and look at his weavings, and there's Grandma sitting there watching the television in that door light after sunset, and that soft light coming through. I'm like, oh man, do you mind? What are you going to use it for? I'm going to use it for art. Well, okay. So snap that picture,
Nice.
Perfect light, perfect soft light coming in the side there. Made me very happy.
Nice.
These, when you're traveling and you like portraiture, which is what I like, the opportunity to make any kind of picture like that is what makes you happy. And I'm not an aggressive portrait photographer. I don't stick my camera in people's places. That's not in people's faces. That's not how I work. So when there's an invitation, when there's an opportunity like that, and you come out with a lovely picture,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's a treasure for today.
For anybody who's thinking about coming on this tour, let's talk about interacting with people like this, complete and total strangers, walking up to them and saying, "Hey, can I make your picture?" And the type of response that you typically get, whether it's a lot of "shoo, get away from me," or welcoming, or questions, or what's you've been doing shooting down there for 25 plus years. What's your overall impression of the welcomingness of people to have their portraits taken, just random people like this lady here?
It's, there's an initial resistance sometimes. A smile goes a long ways. Being a little bit respectful and asking.
Yeah.
And most of the time, people are all right with that. And if they're not, it's really easy. They're like, no, okay, fine. But I found it super important to approach respectfully.
Yeah.
Just to say, is it okay? Do you mind? And you don't have to have the words in Spanish. You can do that with your camera.
Pick up the camera
Your
and smile.
face and a smile.
Yeah.
And if you can create any kind of interaction, it makes it that much easier.
Right.
That much more likely they'll be into it. One of the nice things on this workshop, on this trip, is that we go to a whole lot of places where people already know us. So the invitation's already there, and they know why we're coming there. So in terms of portraiture, those doors are open. Street photography is a different game.
Right, like this one here. She knew we were coming. They were prepared. It's a restaurant actually, and they're prepared for us. And so we did a whole shoot while they were cooking, while she was cooking. That was really cool.
Which they actually didn't expect, right? But they knew me, and we went there early in the morning, crack of dawn, and they fire up the fire to cook the food for us, and all of us come in with cameras. And I just asked, you guys mind? Oh, we don't mind. They're used to people walking in there, maybe not so many at once, but with cameras.
Sure.
But they enjoyed it. And we all got really nice photos there, right? So they're cooking with wood, they're making tortillas, they're frying eggs over that clay platter called a comal. The sunlight of the morning's coming in, the smoke's flying around. So it was super, super, super conducive to making nice pictures.
It was.
And people almost forgot how hungry they were because they were so into making those pictures.
Until the food showed up.
And the food, which was so simple and so delicious.
Yeah, once that food showed up, Will remembered.
Yeah, we remembered
how hungry we were.
She made salsa right there. Like she took tomatoes and put them in the coals of the fire that she was cooking our food on. She put chilies in the coals of that fire, and then in a stone mortar and pestle ground that up, added salt, pepper, who knows what else, and served that on the table. And it went like that fast.
Boom. Young. And then the hot chocolate.
And then the hot chocolate.
Always, every breakfast there's always hot chocolate made with milk or water, which is I have found really interesting. I grew up with hot chocolates made with milk. That's the way it works. But they do it with water. In most places they ask you, do you want it with milk or with water? And I've had it with water a few times. I was surprised at how good it was. I'm like, oh, I didn't think it would be very good this way. It was fantastic.
It's light and simple and fairly common.
Yeah, really delicious, really delicious. If you guys got any questions who are watching live, now's your chance to put them out there. If you want to ask anything about, even if you're not going, you're not able to go, you're not thinking of going, just ask any questions you want about the region, about what it's like to shoot down there, about street photography in general. We'll be happy to try and answer them for you. We're going to keep this fairly short and sweet. Just want to have this opportunity to talk about this workshop coming up and the places we're going to go. Let's take a look at a couple of. Here's some. This is one of my own pictures. This is street photography of street food. I mean, this stuff is so good. What do you call this? Corn?
Elotes. Well, there's two kinds. He's making elotes. That's what he's making in his hand. So you boil it, and then you put on lime, mayonnaise, grated cheese, and chili powder. And then the ones in the foreground, that's just asado. So he's grilling it over the coals, which is, more focusing on food, Joseph.
Maybe I haven't had lunch. Maybe my lunch is so disappointing. Okay,
do this one. Let's talk about that scene.
This is
tell me about your experience there. I've been in a scene like that before. I don't know if you have.
No, not quite like this. So this is, just to kind of put it in context, this is where they're making the mezcal. And part of the process of making mezcal is they take the agave piñas, the big, like pineapple-looking thing, but it's monstrous. Cut it into quarters. Cut it into quarters. They put it onto a pile of coals, and I'm not talking like a little barbecue, but a pit the size of this room, bigger, probably 15 by 15 foot pit, full hot coals. Pit. Yeah,
stone lined.
Oh right, stone lined, and then they throw all these piñas onto it, these cut in quarters pieces, and then they cover it with dirt and burlap sacks to keep it in there, and it smokes for
3 days.
3 days.
3 days. It's baking. It's baking.
Bacon in there.
Yeah.
Not like pig bacon, but baking.
Bacon is bacon.
And you get all this smoke and this incredible smoke coming out of it, and just made for such beautiful photos, and the sunlight coming through and the workers working away, and it was just such an incredible visual feast. That was one of the most beautiful things of the whole workshop. Yeah. For me, obviously, you've got beautiful scenery and the sunrises, sunsets, and beautiful architecture and beautiful food. But then seeing this with the smoke and these grizzled old men, they're throwing
all of them were these characters, and we were able to set it up. And this is a trick, right? But because we had time, we set it up so that when we were there, they'd be doing this process, which is the baking of the agave hearts, of the cores. And it's the most dynamic process in the distillation, right?
Sure.
For a photographer anyway.
Right.
Because of the smoke. Because you've got 5 or 6 guys working at once, chopping these things up and throwing them into that pit and then covering it up. And so we watched that for probably an hour.
Oh, yeah.
And we just all of us worked around it and made our pictures happen and found our angles and had plenty of time to shoot that. And I got spectacular shots. You got spectacular shots. I bet all the students got great stuff out of that. And then at the end of that, because you're so intensely focused at making these pictures, right? At the end of that, you're kind of like wired and a little bit exhausted, and it's just still. So we go around to the other side where the hot distilled mezcal's coming out, and we just have a little shot to mellow things out.
Oh, it definitely does.
You remember that?
Oh, I do.
You do?
I do.
Yeah,
I haven't had that much. I remember. And this is all walking distance from our hotel.
In Mitla, when we stayed in Mitla.
That's right. Which is a fairly small town. We walked pretty much everywhere. I mean, a lot of places we went, we were just walking everywhere unless we had to get in the car and drive. We did a lot of walking. We were averaging something like 9 or 10 miles a day.
Of walking?
Yeah.
That I don't recall.
Oh, yeah. We looked that up. It was... we put in some miles.
Right. Just wandering around like Oaxaca City. Just wandering the neighborhoods, winding up at this church, going this way, going that way.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Let's see here. Matt's got a good question. Is there a great online resource for laws around street photography in different countries? I don't know of one, to be honest, of a single resource for that.
I haven't a clue.
I really don't. I mean, generally the laws are pretty lax in at least most Western countries, for sure. Pretty much universal, as far as I know, is it's in the street. If you're in the public view, it's fair game. Can't shoot into private buildings. Can't shoot through people's windows. That sort of thing. If there's a reasonable expectation of privacy, then you can't take a picture of them without invading their privacy. So that's pretty universal. But no, I don't know of an online resource for that.
In Oaxaca, that law is locally enforced by the individual. If they don't want you to take a picture, they throw an old tomato at you. They run you down. No, that's not true.
Yeah. Marvin's saying, don't do the pasties, I'm on a diet. He must be talking about one of these bits of food here. I don't know. Let's just, let's bring this up.
Yeah, as long as you're on a diet, look at this.
Yeah, as long as you're dieting. Here's something for you. Oh, God, this is so good. So much good food. It's kind of ridiculous, really. I mean, honestly. Oh, this guy was great. This is before the workshop even started. This is
pre-workship.
Pre-workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get. If you're coming, you want to get there a couple days early, stay a couple days later, because there's so much to see and do.
Yeah.
And you don't need us for the whole thing. It's good to be able to run around. It's fun. I think good to stay afterwards, because by then you've got to know the area a little bit. We've shown you the tour. We've shown you all the hot spots, and you can go, okay, I really want to go back to that spot and spend some more time there.
Yeah.
And you can. Yeah, which is pretty darn good. And Marvin's saying not fair. He's unhappy with us pushing that photo up there.
You got any more like that? Well, another question for you. This was the first time you'd been to a lot of these places, to Oaxaca.
To Oaxaca. Yeah, absolutely.
And to a lot of these places. And so we talked about it a lot before you went down there. I set it all up. I've been down there 25 years. This is my backyard, my front yard. But for you, what were some of the unexpected and impacting experiences you had?
I don't know if it's unexpected, but certainly impacting was just the warmth and friendliness of the people, which obviously helps by the fact that we are in places that they know you, so they're inviting you in. We've already arranged to go there. But to be able to go into somewhere where normal tourists certainly wouldn't go, literally into people's homes in some cases, and to have them be so welcoming and allowing us to take the photos of them or the food they're making or whatever it might have been, their tapestries and so on. It was such a great experience to have that and to know that this is what our students are paying for. This is what our guests are paying for, to have this kind of access that you can't get. If you just show up as a tourist, there's no way you're getting into these places. It's not going to happen. But this is what the access is, and that was just incredible to see that. We talked about it. You told me all about it. Obviously, I knew it was going to happen, but until you're there, you don't really realize just how fantastic it is.
Right.
Yeah, and then the Yerba del Agua, that place was stunning. That's crazy.
The mineral springs with the...
Yeah, I don't think I have a still photo of that on here, but that was.
You got the one of you. That's your.
Oh, right. That is. So this is Eric's photo of me. This is doing the little on-camera flash mini workshop here, and yeah, that was an incredible place. And in the video, that was the shot of you walking across the water.
Yeah,
it looked like
it looks like I'm walking on water.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, so just some stunning beauty for sure. And again, the people. And mezcal. I hadn't really had mezcal. Oh, I'm hooked now. I like the mezcal.
I came back up from Oaxaca months after, and Joseph's like, just bring me a couple bottles.
Just bring me a little bit.
I drank all what I had.
Well, it was much. I didn't bring much.
Yeah, no,
it makes it sound like I brought a lot.
Yeah, no, I know. Not enough.
It looks like Ryan pulled up a link for Matt's question about the online resource for street photography. It's a Wiki Commons link. We'll put that in the show notes as well, so we'll make sure that that's down there. So if you're interested in that question, what the common laws are for street photography around the world, there is now a link to that in the show notes. So thank you very much for that, Ryan. Marvin says he'd love to go on a tour of Cuba with us. Oh, that'd be fun. We went a few years back and was totally enthralled. I've never done Cuba.
I was there in December for a couple weeks making pictures. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. Cuba's tough travel.
Yeah.
It's and I don't know what the laws are now about going over to Cuba. It's changed.
It's changing every day.
Just changed. Yeah.
All right, let's pull up one more photo and then we'll call it a day here. Let's see here. How about another one of yours you want to throw up there? Or you pick a photo. What do you want?
Let's do. We've done a lot of portraits, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got a lot of portraits in here. I guess
we've done a lot of food too, because I guess our two focuses are portraits and food. We could do architecture, landscape, but we really spent more time eating and meeting people. That's actually a fair summation of what the experience was like.
It is. It is.
Let's just. drinking in the candlelight.
Yeah, this is that's not 4 empty glasses. Well, is that 4 empty glasses?
Yeah, no, one of them's still full.
One. I think one's a candle that's blown out. Can we at least say that? 'Cause I think it was just the two of us there that night. Or did they were bringing us different things to drink?
Yeah, we might have been doing a flight or something like that.
Flight. We'll leave it at that. Just like
A little flight like
little
that.
Little flights. There we go. Marvin's saying they love dollars and euros in Cuba. Yeah, I guess that's.
They love those in a lot of places.
Yeah, so this is fun. Actually, the fun thing about this shot, I remember we were just out for a drink because after hours, everybody's gone to bed. We decided to nip out for a little catch up on the day's events, and I was just showing Eric the lens. I think that was the whole point of this picture, just showing you this super shot of the field and the lens that I was working with. That was fun. It's just it turns out nice. Sometimes you get a photo and you're like, oh, not really what I was expecting, but it came out great. You get a lot of that happening too. So actually, let's talk about that real quick for the photo education, how we actually do this, because this is not the type of guided tour where we all go out and say, okay, everybody take a picture of this building. Everybody sets up their tripod. We all go look at everybody's camera. No, you're doing it wrong. That's not what it is. No. We'd get to an area. Well, first we'd talk about what we're going to go see and what the photographic opportunities are there in a particular location. And then we'd get there and everybody can spread out. We have whatever, an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever time we have. And people spread out and shoot around the area. And because there's 2 of us and only 8 students, it makes it really, really nice and tight. We can walk around and we walk up to people that are shooting and look over the shoulder and say, hey, you have any questions? Can I help you with? And always those turn into really long conversations of, okay, now I've got one-on-one time with one of the photographers. Let's talk about this. I want to know how to do that. How can I make this better? And I think that was a really good educational experience. Yeah. And then back at the hotel, almost every evening, we would have time to sit down and edit together. People could show us their photos, ask questions. We'd sit down with them, help them pick out their best shots, help them edit their best shots to make them even better. And that was a big part of it as well.
Just bounce ideas off of each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I really enjoy that. I enjoy that interaction. And again, having a group of 8, which is a really specific choice, it creates like 8 and two instructors, creates a certain kind of intimacy. It gives everybody time to interact. And it also, anywhere we go, we don't overwhelm the place that we're going, There's not a bunch of photographers in your shot. And essentially we created opportunities to have access to experiences and then gave people a lot of independence within those scenarios, and we're available at the same time if there are questions or if they need a translation or if they wanted me to help or you to help them interact with somebody. But so you really have a choice, right? Yeah. Do I want to wander off and take pictures on my own in this space, or do I want to be close to one of you guys and see how you want to make it happen with us?
Yeah. Absolutely. I know we have photographers on the tour who were interested in one particular aspect or a couple aspects of photography and absolutely not interested in others. And so we'd get somewhere and they go, well, I don't really care about that. I'm going to go do this. That's fine. There's no problem with that. And if you got questions about what it is that you do want to do, well, we're pretty well versed in a lot of different types of photography. We can certainly help out where we can. But yeah, it's not like, oh, I don't care about portraits, but you're going to make me take portraits. Well, if you don't want to, you don't have to. That's part of the beauty of it. It's very, very flexible in that. But because it's such a small group, we really do get that personal one-on-one interaction, a lot of one-on-one time, which is huge.
Yeah,
it makes a big difference.
Yeah, that's kind of luxurious.
Yeah, it is. Really. Yeah, because a lot of workshops you look at, even if it's only 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people, there's probably one instructor. We're at 8 people for 2 instructors. That's huge. Yeah. And we both have very different backgrounds in photography, different perspectives on it, different ways of educating. So you could ask us both the same question and get 2 very different but both very accurate answers. And I think that's really,
usually mine's more accurate. But
that's probably true. But but it's a really great learning technique to be able to have that ability to get 2 different perspectives on the same topic, and then from there, you surmise the way you want to approach it. And go, okay, well, I like what Eric said about this, or I like what Joseph said about that. That's pretty good.
Of course, we wind up doing a group presentation in that each person shares, what did we do, 10 shots or something?
Yeah, something like that. The little slideshow at the
end.
And
it's a really cool thing to see what people are pulling out of those experiences. We've all gone to the same places. We've all been in the same light. We've all had the same opportunities. And to see how all these different eyes interpret that and to see some really nice work come out of that. I mean, that was very gratifying for me. I mean, in addition to just the enjoyable experience of all of us traveling together and having these meals together and, these different, but then seeing that final sort of presentation of each, and one and another person showed their work, and it each builds on the others. And by the end, you're like, wow, we knew we saw great stuff, but how beautiful to see it reflected artistically through each person's lens and editing process.
Yeah, that is very true. Very true. Seeing some great work come out of it and seeing people grow over the course of the week 10 days, whatever it is that we're there, to see their photos in the beginning. You're going, okay, well, let's talk about this a little bit. And then at the end going, this is some really good shots. We're doing some really good work here. Seeing that progression, that evolution is really cool. And I think if I remember right, I could be misremembering this, but looking at the slideshow, there were hardly any photos from the first few days because people were still getting their feet wet and getting kind of, finding out how to do this here. But then as the course went on, as the week went on, and they got more experience and they got more confident and started making better work, yeah, and that's the stuff that they're sharing with us, which is really, that's really great. We start off the whole week with a basic photo 101, intro. So anybody just has any basic questions, you don't have to be an experienced, advanced, certainly not a professional photographer. You can come into this with your first camera. You can come in, you could come on this thing with your iPhone, honestly. You really could, and still make absolutely amazing work. I think that'd be really fun, actually. Someone did come just with their iPhone. What a challenge that'd be.
See what you got with that, yeah.
I'm tempted. That's the thing that I would love to do, is just do a whole trip like that and just shoot with something as limiting as an iPhone and just see what you can produce. Find out, obviously there's limitations, but also see what those constraints make you do. It'd be kind of fun. But yeah, to open up the whole week with a basic photo 101. Okay, let's talk about aperture. You don't totally understand ISO. Okay, let's have a talk about it and go through those basics. That's good. It's good to make sure everybody's got a level playing field there, make sure everybody knows what's going on. Superb. All right, well, I think, let's see here. Marvin saying, you'd seriously love to come, but I feel I need to get through the GH5 course. Well, tell you what, you come with me and I'll give you the GH5 course in person. How's that sound? Get in, I'll help you get the most out of the camera. Honestly, Marvin, I'll give you a lot of private one-on-one time with that camera if you want to come. Matt says, with the workshop groups, do you generally avoid a lot of flash/lighting? I noted in the video there were a couple of spots with umbrellas out. Yeah, that's actually part of what we're doing is off-camera flash photography. And we had initially set up one place to do it, but then we did a spontaneous one another time, which is actually the first time you did it. You broke that out. We were up at Oaxaca. And yeah, it's not a cornerstone of the workshop. It's just another aspect of it. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about this. And it's certainly one of those things where if we did it that first time and everybody said, oh my God, that was fantastic, can we do some more? Yeah. We got all the gear. All we need is someone to stand there, even if it's another guest on the workshop or, God forbid, me again modeling. Then at least you got someone there. That's all you need. And yeah, we can absolutely do more of that if you want to. And if not, that's part of it too with such a small group. If people express interest in one thing and less interest in another, we can divert on the fly. We can really tailor this as we go to say, this is what you want. Great. Nobody wants to do that? Okay, we'll skip it. No problem.
Yeah, we did one short morning session, sort of an introduction to working with off-camera flash, which is one of the things I specialize in. And then we did an afternoon session in a household with that. And there were people on the trip who were quite curious about working with off-camera flash, and there were other people who had no interest in it whatsoever.
Right.
But in each of the locations where we were doing that training, there were all sorts of opportunities to make other kinds of photos. So it worked out that a group of people focused on learning the ins and outs of working with the flash, and other people were off photographing the kitchen, right? Yervelawa photographing the sunrise, right? So there was flexibility in that, which was good, because not everybody's into that. It's a very specific way of approaching photography.
Sure, absolutely.
And some people love it, and you're learning, a new tool that you can really change the look of your photos with, if that's something that attracts you.
Yeah, absolutely. Marvin's saying, so tempting. Well, we're working on him. I'll see Marvin again. He's on almost every show. He's watching live, so I'll keep working on him. We'll get him out there. Matt says, with the workshop groups, do you generally oh, no, we already read that one. Sorry. John Warby, what kit do you guys bring on the tour? Not just camera, but also tripod, flash, etc. So obviously we brought flashes because we did the flash thing. And I certainly brought more gear than I needed, but also I'm teaching, so I want to make sure that I have, if someone asks, well, I want to know something about macro photography. I can't say, oh, I left my macro lens at home. So I had to I traveled with more gear than I normally would for a trip like that if I was just shooting. Tripods, I did bring a tripod, almost never used it. I mainly used it for a couple of video shots. I don't think I used it for any still photography. Did you use it for one of the night shots? No, even that I think you just handheld.
Nope. I don't know. I
do you
think
own a tripod?
I do, and I do use it sometimes. I think I brought it out while we were doing the flash work, just to have the camera on a base while we were messing with the cameras. But other than that, no.
Yeah.
I was a lot lighter than you. I'm carrying a body and a lens,
right?
And then my flash kit, which is 3 off-camera flash, a couple of umbrellas, 2 light stands,
right?
And that's it, which is you know, it's a little hunk of stuff. It probably
Sure.
takes a bundle that size.
But that said, you wouldn't need to bring that on your own.
No.
If you wanted to travel without your flashes, you could use ours.
We got it,
Absolutely.
yeah.
We just put them in. It doesn't matter what camera you have. We put them in manual mode, and that's generally how we're working anyway with flashes. And you get more control, and you learn better that way. Once you learn it, then you can go into fully automatic and understand it. But when you're learning, go manual, and then you can use any flash in the world.
Yeah, that's right.
including the ones that we
That's
have.
right. And all of it we're doing manual. All that flashes.
And that's remember we did when we set up those shots. We work with the lights, get them set up, and everybody's looking at the shots as we're building it. And people are helping to build it. And should we put a light there? Let's try this. And then we just took the commander and slap it onto different people's cameras.
That's right.
And so we tell people, okay, this is the settings. The flashes are set, so you shoot it. I don't know, whatever, 1/250th of a second at f5.6 at ISO 200, whatever it was. Set your camera to that and go to town. And that worked absolutely.
And it's kind of magical if you haven't used flash before. You dial your camera in, you put the commander on it, you take a picture, and you look at your camera, and you're like, wow, I never got a shot like that before in my life, because you haven't worked with
totally
flash.
different, yeah.
But it's dialed in right. Your exposures are right.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, boom, you've got your subject highlighted in the background with a certain kind of light on it. People had fun with that.
Yeah, they did. They did. Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. All righty. Mark says, am I going with the Mevo? Yeah, I think that thing pretty much goes everywhere with me now. All right, you guys, let's wrap this up. Thank you, Eric, for coming in.
Mr. Mindling, what gear do you use? APS-C.
There you go.
Ask me.
Joseph is asking him what gear you use with Micro Four Thirds, APS-C, full frame or medium format. I'd like to shoot medium format sometime. I've only done that once, digital.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's
I've
big,
never done
big,
that,
huge
so-
digital files.
Right.
Massive. John's saying I'll have to bring the Mevo or I won't be able to do Mevo Friday. I got a Mevo Friday. It's like my thing now, Mevo Friday. But today was Spark Friday, so I don't know. I don't know what to say. All right, guys. I'm going to play this video out one more time, and we're going to wrap it up from here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.